So I thought I'd give a 6-month review of the Tevo Tarantula that I've had, and excuse any coughing or hacking that you hear. I have a cold right now. Starting with assembly of the Tevo Tarantula, it's probably one of the most difficult 3D printers it is to assemble because the instructions are written in very poor English with almost no description of where the various parts go. You'll get a diagram and they'll give you these bags with various parts in them, and not all of the parts are used and the steps that they're said they're used in, and sometimes they will advance to steps that need to actually be completed later than where they are in the booklet, even though it says that the instructions are in sequential order. So you may have to find that you put something together to have to go take it completely apart to put something in its place. And often there are missing parts which you end up have to buy, like these screws and washers, and there's little clamps that go inside the channels here, and I didn't have enough of those for all of these little angle brackets and the base pieces and everything, so I had to come up with my own. On some of them I had some very hard plastic that I shaped into a wedge and stuck it in there and got the screw to go in. But this printer took me about 3 days to assemble into the state that you see it now. And I'm currently printing a new Z bracket for up here because it's basically just a flat piece of plexiglass and it has horrible flex, so you won't see it here. Excuse me. But as the part gets taller, it'll start having ripples in it, like this. I don't know if the camera will show it, but the level of ripple depends on how fast you print. Excuse me. So I'm going to have to print that bracket up there and that bracket on the control arm. And I'm using a custom firmware for my Tarantula because the original firmware that comes with this printer, for whatever reason, it might have been a programming error, but you miss about that much of the bed that you can't use in the printer software. So let me go in here. Excuse me. Yeah, but like up there, it wouldn't be at all usable, so the part size that you could print was much diminished. And also the height of the that you can print, it says that the print height is like 200 millimeters. In reality, you really can't get that high. It's about 180 millimeters is as tall as I've been able to go on this thing. And as for like bed leveling, you have to do it all manually. And it says to use a single sheet of just printer paper, but you often have to experiment because if you get too close, then your filament will start jamming up the nozzle. And you might be able to hear it here where the printer filament is actually getting rejected out of the extruder motor because it's too close to the bed. You can end up spending hours and hours trying to fiddle with this, and the fix is to get one of those auto bed leveling sensors, and this firmware supports it. But they're expensive and they're kind of finicky to set up, and I didn't really want to bother for the little use that I've done with this thing. You might notice that I'm printing on glass right here, and this is recommended with this printer because the surface that comes on the aluminum bed can get damaged extremely easy. And the original bed that I had for this thing, actually the sticker got ripped off, and no matter how much I tried like putting some material under there to make it so you could detach the part, it kept coming up. The original bed actually ended up dying, and it took me probably about a month of fighting the people that I bought it from to get another bed. What happened is, in the middle of the bed, roughly under where the print nozzle was, there's a little thermistor in there that measures the bed temperature. As you can see, there's 100°C right now. And there was insulation that had gotten either burned away or it wasn't put on properly in the factory, and it shorted to the bed and it burned it up. I didn't find this until after I got a new one. And it basically turned the whole area into a charcoal briquette, and it made it extremely difficult to fix it. But I do have the bed here somewhere. I'm not going to go get it right now, but it was a pain in the rear. And another sore spot is this power supply. It's very light. It's supposedly rated for 300 watts, but I wouldn't trust it as far as I could throw it. And within the past week or so, it started making the stereotypical burning MOSFET smell, so I expect it to die shortly, and I'll probably replace it before it dies because I don't want it to nuke the board here. You can use generic PC power supplies to do the job. I'll probably end up doing that because I don't trust the ones that I get on eBay. Excuse me. But I would not recommend this one to anyone getting into entry-level 3D printing. I would suggest getting one that's either partially or fully assembled. This one I would solely recommend to any advanced user that's willing to put up with lots of grief for not really too much in terms of 3D printing. Like I said, I haven't used this thing very often because of the number of issues that I've had with it.